Welcome, War Gamers. This is Sheep here on Codex Jan channel with Game 2 of the Alberta Onslaught tournament. We're starting with Game 2 because I arrived pretty much just that time of Game 1 and I was pretty nervous and didn't get to taking any pictures, which was a good thing because I was playing an old edition Dark Elf book which had a lot of cheese, which was what I was familiar with, but I was setting up my flaming banners on the opposite sides of the hydras, and I got tabled, and it was pretty bad. And so it is a good thing we do not have any footage for Game 1. So we're going to start here with Game 2, and I learned a lot about this tournament. This is like my first real tournament coming to the Warhammer scene, and we had a lot of fun. There was a lot of highly competitive lists. I thought there may be more fluffy lists for me to kind of have somewhat of an advantage, but no such luck. Turns out my Wood Elf MSU style list just either I don't know how to play it or it just wasn't working out for me. I'll let you guys be the judge, and you guys can leave comments at how terrible I am. But by the end of it, I think I made some improvements, and we'll definitely get to see that. So without further ado, this is my second game against Don, who was playing Tomb Kings, and I was feeling pretty overwhelmed because his army was really well painted, and I've seen Tomb Kings play only on Mini Wargaming's channel by Matt, and he plays them very differently, so I really didn't know what to expect. It was my first time ever playing against Tomb Kings, and here it is. Okay, so here's a look at the deployment. I really tried to go for a MSU style Wood Elves list with multiple small units of Dryads, Treekin, and archer regiments of 10 with the Tree Man, trying to toy around with him, dance around him, and really use movement to my ability. However, you'll see, as from the title of this video, how to lose with Wood Elves in a tournament. There's no such luck. So we'll start on my left flank and his right flank. So I have 8 units of Dryads. I have 11 Glade Guard, 8 Dryads, Tree Man, 10 Dryads, and then some Treekin in the middle. He has his chariots up here with some Carrions, Necrosphinx, Screaming Skull Catapult, and a Scorpion Dude. He has 5 Necropolis Knights, and there's half his regiment of archers there. On the other side of the table, you see he has more Necropolis Knights and another Screaming Skull Catapult, and in his hands he's holding the dreaded Casket of Skulls with some more chariots on his flank. Down here, there's that Treekin you saw in the previous picture with 24 Glade Guard, or 23 Glade Guard with my Wizard. Treekin, another unit of Glade Guard, and there's Treekin inside the house as well. And so let me just tell you a little bit about the style of play. He deployed first, and he got to go first, and really his was march up and really get in my face as soon as possible. And my plan was to almost be a gun line, shoot him, and then use movement to move around him. However, it doesn't really happen that way. So turn 1, what happens? Pretty standard. He moves everything up. His chariots is carrying all his units forward on the left flank as well as the right flank. Marches them up as fast as they can go. During the magic phase, he gets the spell off. Oh, yay for blurry pictures. He gets the spell off, which allows them to move an additional movement. And so now it's essentially like turn 3, and I've missed a round of shooting because he's so much closer to me now. Which is good, meaning my first round shooting is going to be at strength 4 because of short range, but he is definitely too close. This was the scenario where you're 18 inches apart, so the Blood and Glory. Actually, sorry, no, Blood and Glory was the first round. This one was just standard battle line. Everyone was pretty familiar with that. So that's why he's moved up that. And there's him moving up his chariots, and I'm like thinking to myself, crap, that's not a lot of distance. I should maybe move back, but I was thinking, if he's going to charge, there is a really good chance he's not going to make it because he's within, 12, I think he was 15 inches away. I managed to move and time it just perfectly. There you go from his archers. Took some shots and killed a bunch of my archers, which is good. He also took archers shots from his chariots into my archers. More shots from his archers there. They didn't only killed 2 Wood Elves. So it's really neat. I've never faced Tomb King shooting with always hitting on a 5+. The fact that they're moving, they're in their long range, and I'm in like shooting through soft cover a lot of times. You know, that's not that bad of an ability to always be wounding on 5s, especially if you're as a mobile army as they are. He's putting his carrions in a wonderful position where I can charge, where he can then set up to receive a flank charge and from his Necrosphinx and a Scorpion. However, I didn't position it quite right, and he managed to. Well, you'll see. All right, Necropolis Knights so close. His archers. There's the result of his archers shooting at mine. Pretty devastating. Since I don't have any ward saves or armor saves of any kind, it's you hit me, I'm dead. And there's the big block of dice, hoping that creates a barrier between us. Alright, Casket, a Screaming Skull Catapult gets direct hit on the Tree Man. Tree Man is out first turn before I get to do anything. That sucks. But that's Warhammer. He was a good sport about it. Which triggers a panic on my Wood Elves, and they flee. Now, one thing to note, you'll probably hear me say many times over in the course of these battle reports, is I justified to myself that I didn't need to bring a BSB because half of my army is immune to psychology, and when I'm in combat, chances are I'm only sticking around for one round and then I'm breaking. I don't plan on being stubborn or being able to really win through combat res. I know as soon as I get in there, any army is just going to wipe the floor with me. And so that was my justification, but time and time again throughout the tournament, I needed that BSB just to stop this sort of mess from happening. But I didn't, and there it is. Really close. Some more shooting. Actually, this was a spell. He shot a direct damage spell at me. And blurry picture. Alright, so now we're on, it's my turn. So there was 5 chariots here, or I managed to take off 4 chariots there. Managed to take off 1. And I managed to severely wound the other one on the other side, which is not bad for Wood Elves. I think that one was at long range, so I think it was like at 16 or 17. So probably why I didn't get an extra chariot taken off. Did charge the carrion and managed to kill them all. Unfortunately, I wasn't thinking. I'm still nervous, still new, and I didn't reform to sort of face the oncoming threat here and here. And so the Scorpion gets a flank charge on me. Alright, his turn. Oh, and during my magic phase, I rolled like terrible. Got a 3 and managed to not do anything. Because all of my spells were nothing was direct damage. Nothing I could regrow. Couldn't cast anything off. He dispelled it. And so it was pretty uneventful. But he's charging. He's charging. And he's charging. Everything's charging. And everything makes it. Of course, I now look at it. I should have fled. But I was only like 6 or 7. I was pretty close to the board edge. I was like 7-8 inches away. If I fled and went off, I didn't really want to take that risk. And so I stood and shot. And managed to kill him. Oh, you doing okay, baby? Alright, that's good. Just drool on my hand. The worst part is his Necropolis Knights fail, and I didn't want to flee because they have my level 4 in there. But then again, he's going to beat me in combat res, and I was just going to pop anyway. So I probably should have took the risk in fleeing and having him failed charge and maybe chance for him redirecting. But again, you know, still so many mistakes. Necropolis Knights come in onto my Treekin, and I'm like, you know what? My Treekin can handle this. I think I'm alright here. We'll see how that one goes. This was to be expected. He charges in and does a ton of wounds. However, my Dryads do perform well in combat, which you'll see in just a second. Last charge, it's a fail. So I'm lucky I get to shoot at him one more time. Alright. Magic time. He gets some more buffs off. This was possibly the worst thing he could get off. He got it irresistibly, so I couldn't even attempt to dispel it. Where everything had Righteous Smiting, and it was the boosted version, where everything gets an extra attack, whether it's a shooting attack or a melee attack. So all of his mounts get an extra attack, all of his Necropolis Knights get an extra attack, and all of his archers get an extra shooting attack. It was devastating. There you go, Dryads. He also, during shooting, shot the Casket of Skulls opened up, and the magical vortex, or it's not a magical vortex. The magical ability, 3 dice minus my leadership. That's how many wounds I take. 2 dryads remain because they are immune to psychology, so they don't panic. There's the buff being off, and just sort of put on by his archers. Does some pretty insane shooting, but really has no targets, so we're okay. Alright, we managed to put a wound on one of the Necropolis Knights with my Treekin, and he puts another Screaming Skull Catapult. Oh, sorry, that wasn't from the combat, that must have been from shooting. Screaming Skull Catapult comes, lands on these Dryads, only takes 1 wound because it's scattered a bit, and then the other second one scattered off, so quite lucky. These guys break and manage to avoid from being run over. And then on the left, their chariots took off another one, but they finally made it in. And they kill him down, 1 man standing, he breaks to combat res. I managed to put 2 wounds on the Necrosphinx and the Scorpion, which was surprising for my Dryads. And he only managed to kill 2 of them. So I was like feeling pretty good at myself that I was going to stick in combat, because I think I lost by 1, but it was enough. I rolled pretty high, and with no re-rolls, you're gone. And since I'm skirmishers, I don't have the steadfast rule, so that's why. If you're thinking, oh, you have more models, you should have stuck, but I'm skirmishers. So they pursue. Now we're going on to the combat that everyone's dreading, or me, I'm dreading. He takes 2 wounds on 1 Treekin, not bad. I hit back, managed to do 1 wound on him. It was brutal. Oh, cough, cough. He pops me in combat res. As you see, I moved the dice. I'm probably going to have to move them a bit over here. These magic cards, never used them in the game because I couldn't get a single spell off because I was always shut down on my magic phase from rolling so low. Yeah, that combat didn't go well. And then after the mounts do their attacks, I'm left with just my level 4, which he is not insanely courageous, and they go off the table. These guys are actually off the table, but I have all my stuff here, so we just kind of left them there. They come back on next turn. These Treekin are okay, though. So I'm set up nicely to do an easy charge here and an easy flank charge here. But look, he still has all of his units minus a couple chariots. And I'm broken at this point. My center battle line is just been ran right over. So Treekin came out of the house. I have no idea why they were in the house. I kind of wanted to do something fun. I've actually never even entered a building before. So it was a learning experience. Probably not the best time to be doing a learning game. And I had a tournament, but I really didn't get a chance to play this list before we started. Alright, so I managed to kill another chariot. This actually has him kind of worried on his left flank that he may lose an actual unit and not get a complete massacre with a flawless victory. Let's see how that goes. I hit back, he kills 3 dryads, and he wins I think I only have 1 combat. We'll see soon. He definitely wins combat here and kills those 2 dryads. Everything reforms, they come back on the table. I set up for a couple more charges, and his archers just move up to kind of face me, and he is using every single one of his spells. The spells he got, not 100%. I know he has, he took his signature spell and Righteous Smiting, and those are the only ones that I really remember. Alright, his chariots overran, oh, sorry, a while back I said my Glade Guard got away. No, they don't get away from Swift Stride's chariots. So they come back on the board too. So these are both back on. Tree men come out of the unit and they're kind of facing it. Oh crap. We kind of were joking about these guys. They were like, hey man, we were in the bar and we came out and what happened to the army? You know, pee break. They come out and they're gone. The whole time I was pretty jovial and happy because, you know, when you get massacred so badly, it's what else are you going to do? You have to laugh at it. So he does a spell on there. I can't quite make it out, but if you know what that symbol is, he managed to kill 1 Treekin. So he's gone. Does his Phoenix thingy, his big, oh shoot, what's the name? Anyways, monster comes in to the flank charge. We managed to do a draw here before, and he charges in. Takes Danger Strain test, and since he was already down to 2 wounds, I was like, or 3 wounds, I was like, yes, I could kill him by dangerous terrain, and that would just be hilarious, and I could get some battle points. But alas, it wasn't to be. He made his dangerous terrain test, and he was going to fly the heck out of there. And his chariot was just going to park there, not have entered the forest. What are you saying? Alright, so at this point, my opponent was like, look, Danny, I'm not going to say, when to stop playing, but if you want to, you don't have to continue. He was feeling quite bad for me at this time. But I was like, heck no, man. I spent $60 to come to this tournament. I'm going to roll all my dice, and I'm going to try and do a wound. And he had a good laugh at that. He was a great person to play against. I recommended him as being the most fun to play with, just because he was very understanding, very clear, and very friendly. No whining, no objections. He was a pleasure to play against. So those treekin died before I even got into combat. His archers shot them, and then I was like, well, the best thing I could do is charge these chariots, which I do, and kill one, and put it down to so it has 2 wounds left on the last one. Oh, managed to kill it. I totally forgot about that. So I did get a scoring unit this game. That is awesome. I reformed to face the oncoming charge, which was on his last turn, and here's the last look at the battle of how it looks. Everything is sort of focused on me. Oh, you know why those tree men died? Screaming Skull again. Catapult. Anyways, here it is. Boom, they charge in, and that is game over. I got tabled for the 2nd game in a row. So, lessons to learn from this game. Really practice your army list before you bring it to a tournament. I have not had a chance to ever play an MSU style unit. I was used to my Dark Elves and really large elf gun lines. By the end of the tournament, I did cheat from my last game, which you will see, where I combined the Dryads together and my Treekin together to form big units, and they performed so much better. So, leave comments below. Tell me what I should have done better, how I should have played this list better. It's really hard with the Wood Elves not having an updated list compared to everyone else. So I really felt that I was going in at a disadvantage. But the rules required for the tournament, all models to be based and painted, and those are the ones that I had based and painted. Thanks.